November 9th, NFT morning show. What a time to be alive. We are cooking here in the crypto markets. I feel like I understand exactly what's going on the crypto side. And let me tell you, I feel like I don't understand what's going on the NFT side at all. Beanie, the infamous Beanie had a tweet recently where he said, he was like something about how he just never expected profile picture NFT collections to pump with art NFTs just not like doing anything. He's like, only a Simpsons like weirdo pump could create this reality. And he said, like, I'm just too old for this space now or something. Like, basically he said, like, I'm a has-been, like, don't listen to me, the game is passing me by. And I'm like, I feel the same way. I just have no idea what's going on. Like, the whole time I've been framing this as when there's face melting crypto rips, which I've been preparing for a calendar year at this point. The only thing is, I had when FTX went down, when the whole FTX thing went down. First of all, on our show that we did, if you guys remember, I was like, this has nothing to do with Bitcoin. This doesn't impact Bitcoin at all. And like with pitchforks, everybody was like, wow, it's bad for the industry, a reputation. It impacts Bitcoin. I was like, this doesn't matter for Bitcoin at all. It has no impact on Bitcoin. Bitcoin went down to $16,000. In that moment, I was like, what if I took like $80,000 and just bought 5 Bitcoins right here at like 16K? And I didn't. I didn't just go and ape in $80,000 right there, but I totally should have. But instead, I just plowed money into Bitcoin and other assets over the next 12 months. When it was really low, it was only Bitcoin. And then as we started to recover, that's when I opened up to Solana, Dogecoin, Ethereum, and a slight amount of PEPE, which I looked is up 25% because you psychopaths all love buying PEPE instead of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. But I just don't understand how NFTs can go up right now because it almost feels too easy. Why wouldn't I just plow money in NFTs right now? Because the amount of gains you're getting is insane if the underlying tokens are going up and the NFTs are going up. So we have a lot to talk about today. We're going to be joined by some badass guests that have been doing their own content now for over a year, well over a year. We've had them on the show today, but we've had them on the show before. Legendary and BCheque. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm still jet lagged from Amsterdam. I went to my mom's house right afterwards. That was a mistake. Too much travel. And I was on a call yesterday, actually with Captain, Chris Jordan, Captain from Coffee with Captain. And I just realized, I was like, I'm not making any sense in any of the words that I'm saying. Like, forgive me, my brain is just Swiss cheese right now. But today we're going to discuss Solana's continued unrelenting overnight pump because it was mispriced for a calendar year post FTX debacle and Sam Bankman-Fried bullshit. And we're going to ask if we should be concerned by Ethereum's lagging price. Spoiler alert, you shouldn't, you dumbasses. And last but not least, the Yuga co-founder Gordon Goner is on a $1.6 million shopping spree, creating yet another green day in NFTs. Why don't we just get right into it? Because we have our kick-ass guest that I want to talk to as soon as possible. Signal, can we do the weather report early today?
Yeah, let's get into it, guys. It is Thursday, November the 9th. Market volume just absolutely ripping. We are at 21 million. So we're up 4x from just 3 weeks ago. Blur with 13.7 and OpenSea looking pretty healthy. It's catching a pie of 4.5 million. Onto the market leaders. Well, despite the crypto rally, most of the leaders are in the green. You got Bored Apes and Azuki up 6%. You got Captains up 12%, and Pudgies and D-Gods are holding steady. Looking at the other movers, you've got mid caps like Elementals, Doodles, Clones, Moonbirds, and Cool Cats all up at least 10%. And Dead Fellas leading the pack up 45% to a 0.3 floor. Thank you, Gordon. Over the past 24 hours, well, it's obviously Gordon going to continue his shopping spree. Everybody knows about it. He has spent almost 200 ETH yesterday on just 10 NFTs, led by a Spirit Azuki for 89 ETH, a Doodle for 69 ETH, and he has at least 2 Grail purchases left after receiving a mutant hound he was planning to buy for free overnight. Looking over at crypto, the winner at the moment is Solana. That went up another monster rally. It's up 10% to $47. Just keeps going up in the last 24 hours. Bitcoin is also rallying. That's up 4%, with ETH just lagging a little bit behind. A bit of concern over ETH's price action, but we'll see what happens there. Over on Meme Land have announced the meme point farming season 1 will be ending soon, as they're going to try and remove all the bots in the system before the airdropping the meme coin. You got multiple farmers reported being suspended by Twitter as they were mistaken for a bot, and Meme Land said they're going to try to fix the issue. Meme coin is up 15% over the past 24 hours, with captains and potatoes following. And then lastly, the winner of the day, it's art, and it's art blocks, and it was curated mint trichomatic by artist Mount Vitruvius. As reported by Tyler D in NFT Stats, the collection minted out at 0.82 in a Dutch auction and has since pumped to a 2.2 ETH floor. What a cook. Over a 2x for everyone who participated. So that is all for the weather report. It is back to you folks in the studio.
Fantastic weather report as usual, Signal. Some updates from the Daily Digest before we throw to Legendary and BCheque, who I'm very excited to have on the show today. The Daily Digest is posted to X every morning. It's pinned up top. It's also emailed to anyone that subscribes at thenifty.com. Sounds like people are actually really enjoying that, so I'm happy to hear that people are consuming content on any platform besides X. Not that I don't like X, but it's like, come on, guys, wake up. Get an email address. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Animoca subsidiary educational platform TinyTap, I believe they were a former partner of ours, if I'm not mistaken, are going to partner with Pink Fong. Is that the name of the organization? Okay, Pink Fong. Got it.
Yeah.
Was making sure it wasn't a typo from Clemente. That's the brand behind the very viral Baby Shark song. So that's a pretty damn big partnership, I got to think, if you can go and make... Yep, Clemente?
It didn't get a lot of traction on Twitter, which I was surprised. And again, just another... I'm going to say random, quote unquote, but company that I haven't heard of. That's another. Animoca's got their paws on everything is my takeaway from this story.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good takeaway. So next story, Cosimo de Medici, our friends over at Medici Group, tweeted that a grail will change hands today. I got to think that that's a buy and not a sell from Medici Group. I got to think they might be buying some grail. I don't know. Will be very interesting to see. A lot of action, ladies and gentlemen, in the market right now. Big old sale is pretty crazy. Real quick, Shrapnel, they are our partners right now. They're hosting play testing in Seattle. They're releasing Shrap token utility as early access to their game that's expected to launch in December. Clemente, what are you thinking about this?
Yeah, real quick. Well, I recommend you guys go to @PlayShrapnel, the Twitter account, to check out some of that gameplay. They had a bunch of streamers, checking out their game, playing it, testing it out. It looked freaking awesome. And if you want to get access to this, they're going to have their very first early access available in December. So if you want to go check it out, literally the easiest way to get access to it, they're going to be doing cool challenges that you can win a bunch of prizes on it. Buy an extraction pack at thenifty.com/shrapnel. You can use a 30% discount code Nifty. You'll get 30% off. We're going to do it for the next 10 extraction packs that are bought. So go check that out at thenifty.com/shrapnel. And a quick thank you to our gaming partners just continuing to crush it.
Yeah, fantastic update there, Clemente. Beans Mind of Gus collectible raffle results are out, with holders that lost the raffle apparently offering Beans NFTs in exchange for the physical collectible. So people having interest in physical stuff, I mean, that obviously makes me happy, because when these vendors finish the goddamn orders that we have in, we're going to have a bunch of physical stuff that's literally going to be sitting in my apartment ready to ship out. Last story, Vivid Seats has purchased Vegas.com for $240 million. Fun fact, Nifty Nick, co-founder of this organization, is obsessed with domains and owns a ton of them. He also has like a bunch of Twitter accounts. He has like this weird affinity for domains. I feel like he would have some juicy stuff to say about this, but he's on vacation. Last day on the beach for Nick. Hope he enjoys it. But this has caused excitement in the ENS community. Let me tell you, ENS people, you should be excited, but you have to understand it's going to take so long for Vegas.com, for Vivid Seats to be like, I want to buy Vegas.eth. They don't even know what that means yet. So it's going to take so long, but it's cool. And it's definitely going to eventually be a really big deal, but it's going to take a really long time. And I know a lot of you guys are trying to sell your stuff like tomorrow. But anyway, those are our updates from the Daily Digest. I got to tell you guys, I'm excited to have BCheque and Legendary on the show. Welcome, gentlemen. How you doing?
Very well, thanks, man. Thanks so much for having us, Pio, Clemente, Sig. It's an absolute delight to be here with you. Really looking forward to it.
And GM, absolute pleasure to be here.
That's what I was going to say. You guys are allowed to speak. Your guests on the show. There was like a moment there where I was like, oh, maybe they don't know that you're allowed to talk when you're on the show. No, I'm just messing with you guys. Anyway, can you explain to me why NFTs are going up right now? How that works? I'm a math guy, and the math isn't mathing for me, and I don't understand how NFTs are going up like this.
I mean, it doesn't really take a lot to move NFT floors. The floor's been quite thin. Having a bit of enthusiasm back in the market helps to move them. You could kind of also make the same case for Solana, not to compare Solana with the NFT market in general, but just seeing that the market cap is lower than Bitcoin and the amount of money it takes to move Bitcoin or ETH is definitely different from the amount of money it takes to move NFT floors, and also obviously move a smaller currency like Solana, and thus having a bit more volatility.
Yeah, I thought there was a few things. I wrote this tweet maybe a few days ago, trying to gather my own thoughts on like what is going on. Because maybe similar to you, PO, like you mentioned, the Bitcoin stuff makes sense to you. Like that's like really native to you, makes sense. The NFTs, it's like, I thought we maybe got past that. Some of this stuff was not worth a lot before. Why is it moving now? And especially all in conjunction with each other. It's not just like the blue chips are moving. It's all of them going. Like they're all just moving up with each other. So I was trying to make sense of it. I thought the meme airdrop was pretty important. That made people think that other similar collections could drop similar tokens. So this idea of having the NFT and then that basically being a vehicle in which there's all these tokens going to be locked up. So I think a lot of projects might have moved on that type of speculation. I also think during Ape Fest and Breakpoint, I know sometimes when you go to the festivals or conferences, things go bad. But actually, like the vibes that I detected from Ape Fest, the vibes I detected from Breakpoint was like super positive. And particularly for the Solana one, kind of Solana kept going up during, and I don't know, I do think on this occasion, the crypto price appreciation has actually made people more confident in the market and willing to dip in. And then finally, I think what's always been an indicator since 21 is the CryptoPunks run. So like CryptoPunks, I know people have got really on top of it now after Gordon Goner's buy the other day for 600 ETH. But even before that, I've been reporting for a good week or two where there's like been routine sales, and that floor's moved up from about 41, 42 up to like 52 now. And that's always a good sign for the NFT market, because I think that gives people a lot more confidence.
Well, for all year, there have been humongous sales on NFTs. Just no one talks about it. There were huge sales on art blocks like Fidenzas and Ringers. And I mean, Sotheby's was knocking down auctions left and right where it's another $500,000 NFT sale. And everyone's like, we don't care. Like 2 days after one of the huge CryptoPunk sales for like, I don't know, $700,000 or something like that, I was walking with my friend who pays attention to markets, but thinks NFTs are literally, he basically acts like our business is just an inevitable going out of bit, like going to zero. I remember I said to him one evening, I was like, yeah, I mean, like, honestly, right. He was like asking me how it was going. I was like, honestly, like right now is the best. We're in the best position that we've ever been in. It's kind of crazy. You know, like we're really getting things together. And he looked at me like this look that was just kind of like, are you lying to me right now? You know what I mean? I'm like, no, dude, like this is an actual thing. 2 days after a $700,000 CryptoPunk sale or whatever, I don't remember when it was. I was like, yeah, I mean, that just happened. Do you think that matters at all? Obviously, it makes sense to me that CryptoPunks would be moved. Well, it doesn't make sense to me that CryptoPunks would be moving right now, but I'll set that aside for a moment. I guess, is there any thought about what if the rip on the underlying crypto assets continues, as a lot of people expect, ahead of the Bitcoin halving, ahead of the ETF inevitably being approved? We're talking about pumps that are face melting, right? I mean, it's actually wild real quick how quickly these things can change, because what we were saying, if you remember when the fake ETF news dropped, I forget what media company that was it CoinDesk or whatever, or CoinDesk published the fake Bitcoin news. Cointelegraph. There you go. Cointelegraph. When that happened, I talked about how the experts that I follow, the Mike Alfreds of the world, the Lynn Aldens, the people that really focus on macro and on Bitcoin, they said that in the most extreme bullish scenario, Bitcoin would hit 40,000 before the end of 2023. In a more conservative scenario, it would hit 40,000 before the halving. I mean, we're about to hit 40,000 right now. It's just insane how quickly these things change. When Raul Paul was on the show earlier this year, he predicted that there would be a rate cut before the end of 2023. And I remember Spencer was on that show. Spencer basically like spoke over him and was like, wow, that's a really aggressive take. And I felt the same way in my head. I was like, damn, Raul, that's like crazy. Now I'm like, yo, this might happen. This might happen. So if we get that face melting crypto pump, how can NFTs pump in the face of that? How is that even possible? Do you think it's possible? Like, I need to understand how you're thinking about this, because if it's possible, it makes it feel like NFTs are the biggest no-brainer to just dump money into right now.
I think the point that BCheque mentioned before with the token anticipation certainly plays a big role. Like, we've seen so many gaming projects coming out with their own token at the same time, which kind of makes sense if you look at it. Games started building at the same time. They've been to a bear market. Some are running out of liquidity. The burn rate is pretty high if you're building a game. You only have so much runway. So when you see a more positive sentiment, you might accelerate your plans to launch a token. We've even seen that with Yoga Pets very recently, where Kungs made that announcement in Discord saying they're actually moving their plans to launch a token forward. They will do that faster than they initially anticipated to do that. So you do have now this additional component driven from the gaming sector that you have the token expectation. But that obviously doesn't apply to CryptoPunks, doesn't apply to like the legacy collections of Pudgies, of Apes, etc. So I do see a world where we're like now in a very heated phase of the NFT market pumps. But once Bitcoin, ETH, after the ETF approvals continue to rip, what we've seen in bull markets previously is when crypto goes up, NFTs go down. So I do think that we at one point will see a correction from that if that momentum on ETH and BTC continues. One additional point to what you said before, Pio, we've seen high sales this year, but what to me really changed is the sentiment around that. I remember another very high punk sale in the week where there was also this ape sale. And a lot of people made the tweet for like a 500 ETH, which have rather bought the golden ape or that rare punk. And I posted that myself on X. And people were, quote posting that, had the screenshot showing 7 people who posted that, like, what the fuck, everyone's posting the same. You weren't like allowed to be excited about that sale. But now you see that that Gordon sweep, I mean, obviously there's a lot of history with Gordon, a lot of reasons why people like him in the space, but the general sentiment has completely shifted, that we're now back to celebrating those big sales and sweeps. Whereas like in the middle of the bear market, even the sentiment was negative when someone posted about a high sale, and people are like, why does it matter? Why is everyone posting about that? That doesn't really change anything. To be more important than the price rallies right now, the sentiment change, but I'm also a bit hesitant to see how that will evolve in the future.
Anything to add, BCheque, on that?
Yeah, I think that's a very real thing. I think there has been a lot of excitement most recently. To your point about like where people's perceptions are, I was having a conversation with a friend recently as well, and I think one of the things that someone else said to me recently was that you need to be bullish before other people are bullish. Like, you can't wait until anyone's going to tell you. Like, no one's going to tell you this is the time to make the move, because if everyone starts telling you that, then you're already too late. Like, you've missed your opportunity. And we were talking in terms of the UK housing market and the stock market as well. And in his head, I genuinely think in his head, he thought that we were, it's still going to go down. It's still going to go down. Everyone wants to wait for it to go lower. But then you look at the chart, and I think I've heard you guys speaking about it, like the Meta's stock, it's been down. It's been down already. It went down to 90 and now it's up over 300. Like, and this is post-COVID. So I think people are always waiting too long to kind of get confirmation, and you have to be bullish before other people, basically. And so I take your point that when ETH goes up, I think there will be a correction. But at the same time, you have the wealth effect, which I think sometimes is real. And when you think about a collection, something like Squiggles, which is something I'd like to get into, even if ETH goes up double, for example, I can't see a Squiggle going for less than 5 or 6 ETH personally. So there's like, I take your point. I think there could be a correction. But at the same time, there is like a kind of number in ETH, which I don't think they really go beneath. It's kind of shown with CryptoPunks as well, kind of holding that 40 ETH range for quite a long time as well.
Can I just jump in on what BCheque is saying as well? It's like, if you see that the money that's coming in, we know it's not new participants. Like, if you go back to 2021, you would have known, like, you had your texts from your messages from your friends saying, how do I get into NFTs? I'm not getting that at the moment. All I'm seeing is that money that's been on the sidelines has decided to come back in because they have confidence in the market. So we don't actually have that many new participants coming in. Also as well, going to this point that we've seen this market decline. So everybody has been positioning themselves in the head of what they would buy if the market goes back up again, which it is in this instance. And I think, like BCheque, you hit the nail on the head. You're having this wealth effect at the moment. People feel richer. If you bought Solana last year in November, or just any time between last year and now, you feel richer because you made the right play. So you're now willing to deploy that money back into NFTs. And the NFTs that you're buying, this isn't stuff that you don't know about. If you've been around for the last 18 months, you feel confident in what you're buying, rather than if you were late to 2021 and then you're just FOMOing into anything and everything because the market is frothy. So I think what's interesting about now is that, first of all, it's money coming in for the sidelines. That's money that has been there all this time and it's just been waiting to pounce. Interesting, you see Cosmo Medici saying a grail will be exchanged today. Again, old money. And then secondly, people feel richer, and they feel richer because they've been DCAing all of the past 12 months. Therefore, they feel richer. Therefore, they're willing to take a bet on NFTs or tokens that they have confidence in. So I think we need to kind of split it, that this isn't new people texting how you get into the space. It's just us guys who've been sitting on the sidelines waiting patiently.
Well, it's damn sure not new people, I'll tell you that. And Clemente was talking about how he bought, like, some Ethereum today. I said that's the what you call that is the insider FOMOing in. In other words, it's not an outsider FOMOing in. The outsiders FOMO in, after new all-time highs and everything like that. Like right now, normies are not going to be buying this stuff right now. You're basically inherently smart money if you're buying right now, because it's pre-ETF and pre-Bitcoin halving. I'm talking about the crypto side, obviously. BCheque, what you said about Meta stock. Meta stock is one of the weirdest examples because, this is Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, because it's sold off as if it was Bitcoin, but they didn't even own Bitcoin. Like Tesla owns a bunch of Bitcoin, right? But it's not like the market. I feel like the market doesn't know that. MicroStrategy is pumping right now. Coinbase is pumping right now. Tesla's not pumping right now. And I pay close attention to it because I have hundreds of shares of Tesla. And he's got hundreds of millions of dollars of Bitcoin. And the market's like, I don't know that. That's not something I know. But Meta sold off as if it was Bitcoin or as if it was crypto, literally because the ticker is Meta. Like literally that's why. And because Zuckerberg came out and said, I think he literally said that it was a mistake to go as hard as he went into the metaverse. I mean, companies at that scale, Google, if you talk to anybody that's like been a software engineer at Google, you'll know that all the time Google will work on a project for like 3, 4, 5, 6 months, a year. And then they'll just be like, I don't think we need that thing. And they'll just scrap the whole thing. And it drives engineers nuts because they want a sense of purpose and they want to make sure that even though they're making $800,000 at Google, that's not enough. They want to, be working on something that matters. So the Meta situation is very specific. The thing about NFTs is it was easy to buy Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, even Dogecoin all year. That was so easy. That was like the easiest thing in the world for me. Buying NFTs at the bottom that aren't called Bored Ape, Mutant Ape, CryptoPunks, Fidenza, Squiggle, like the kind of flight to quality grails, that's hard and that's weird. Like if Cool Cats pump, if Dead Fellas pump, if this other stuff pumps where you didn't know if it was a startup or if it's basically considered like a Michael Jordan rookie card at this point, it's so hard for me. And seeing those things start to pump is wild. It's pretty cool. It makes you feel like 2021 stuff is just going to kind of go down as like, grandfathered in, collectible status, which people talk about happening. But a lot of times when people talk about that happening, they're just trying to get you to like pump their bags and be exit liquidity. But I guess, do you have any predictions over the next 3 to 6 months of what the NFT space would look like? Are we going to see the old NFTs come back, like the curio cards and the stuff like that, are those going to see another pump? And are we going to repeat the brutal cycle last time where you saw some of that stuff like crypto arte and stuff pump so high and then fall off so hard? Like, dude, when NFTs fall off, it is like, oh my, it's like D-Day. It's bad, man. It's bad. But anyway, what do you guys think?
I haven't heard the name Crypto Arte in a while, but it was definitely a fun bag to hold back then.
We're definitely going to send that one again. That one will have to get sent. That's already been sent like 3 or 4 times, I think, just in 2021.
I mean, I think the job of the NFT archaeologist is never going to go out of fashion. The thing is, if they're going to revive the same old things that we did revive in the last bull market, or if we are now going for new things that maybe, did come to life in the bear market, or completely different things. I think the NFT archaeologist is going to be there, but I don't think that's going to be the main theme that we'll see playing out over the next couple of months. I do think that the gaming sector will continue to stay strong, especially if you look at some of the upcoming launches. We have Overworld minting in December. We have so many token launches to come. But then the question really is, if you look at this go-to-market strategy, you have that Web3 user acquisition in the gaming market, you have the token launch, you now already are in a stage where at least have play tests, mini games, something to do, something to play, to experience leading up to the main game, or even in some cases the main game. And then I've been talking to many, gaming studios founders in that segment who then are saying, like, our goal is to kind of solidify that audience. And then in Q1, Q2, once the game is launched, we have some experience to, if we have a Web2 audience, to then go for that and try to get them on board. But to me, the question then really is, if everyone is launching a token in the gaming spectrum, is that really still an advantage? Isn't it a zero-sum game? And if the attention is still divided in that very small space, right? We said it before, it's still the same people buying. Yes, NFT stats reported there's more wallets buying. I think we've been at 7.5K wallets now. We've seen an uptick to almost 10K wallets buying NFTs right now, but it's still a very small number. So if there's a couple games to play, if it's still the same old group of people, same low number of participants, and the token's been done, then that excitement is gone again. And then I could see like drastic correction happening, unless we manage to actually onboard new people, to get them excited about playing Web3 games, for them to understand the ecosystem. And then also in the contingency that even if they play those games, and even if they care or don't care about the blockchain technology that's tied to it, then they would also have to gain significant interest in what else is happening in the NFT space to sustain that pump that we're seeing right now. And this is where I'm a bit hesitant.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot to unpack there. The positive side of like the gaming tokens is that there's an actual game that people want to play. Like, imagine if Diablo or one of these incredibly popular games had a crypto token attached to it. Well, there's going to be some liquidity there, right? It would depend on like, what the emission schedule is of the token and the supply and this, that, and the other thing. But there's definitely going to be action there. And now that we're seeing actual good games that people want to play come out with tokens, it is going to be juicy to see what goes on there. I guess I have a question. Are we going to see the NFT market mature in the sense that, are we going to see people that trade NFTs have a bit more respect? Because I feel like the last bull run was very disrespectful. Like the way I came up in the Nifty Gateway days, and people are minting these things with a credit card, right? They don't know anything about who's making them. I mean, part of that is on Nifty Gateway too. Nifty Gateway was like, you should buy this for $800 every day. Like, here's an artist you've never heard of that has 20,000 Instagram followers. Buy his shit for $1,100. And it's like, yeah, is that what I should do? But people would buy them and then they'd try to sell it for $1,180 right after they paid $1,100 for it. And then when it didn't sell, they just start undercutting the floor and like take a $200 loss to get rid of the thing. Do you anticipate that to happen again? Because I feel like if you look back at altcoins prior to last cycle, you could kind of make the same case. Like when there was an altcoin for like airplane traffic controllers or whatever, and they were saying like, you're not going to be able to fly planes without this token. People pump something like that up and then it dumps like at an unholy level. Are you going to see a little bit more respect for the legacy NFT collections of the world?
I mean, I think the Simpsons NFT kind of showed that that's not really the case. That did run up to, what was it, 0.45, half an ETH, and then did go all the way back down. I don't see a reason why this, especially the new participants, would change that approach to trading and be more respectful. And there's something to trading NFTs that's kind of like unique to it. I said it on the show before to BCheque, like I get more excited about seeing profits in JPEGs than stocks than cryptocurrencies, despite the fact that I pay income tax on NFTs and I pay capital gains. I pay half the tax on currency gains. There's something about NFTs, something about trading JPEGs that makes you approach them differently. So to answer your question, I don't think that they will be approached in a more respectful way from the trading side of things.
I love it. I love the honesty. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to anybody that's new to the show. I'm seeing a lot of new faces in the audience. It's also, I'm seeing just indicators of a bull run absolutely everywhere. I'm seeing people try to shill random bullshit in the comments, both on Twitter and on YouTube. It's honestly a sight for sore eyes, bringing up random ass stuff and trying to get other people to buy it. I love it. I'm also seeing gambling addict-like comments that I love to see. So I think that we're back. We need the gambling addicts if you want the prices to really pump. Moving on. So we have a mint at 9:30 a.m. that is live now. Clemente, can you lead this?
Yeah, I wanted to share it beforehand because I don't think it's going to make it to public, but there was a dirty robot mint happening right now. I actually minted some myself. It's a dirty robot, like 444 ETH NFT supply edition that he did. The mint was 0.05. Given the success of yesterday's art block and some of these like limited collections that don't get a lot of like marketing, for example, I think this could hit potentially, like, my price target is getting up to like 0.2. So I'm watching this right now. It's Joker Smoker by Dirty Robot. There's going to be a little snapshot, an additional airdrop. It's sitting at 0.1 right now. I got some, but yeah, it's just something I wanted people to know. When we're seeing sales at about a 2x of the mint price right now.
So timeout. I need to understand this. So that's an addition. So a single artwork by Dirty Robot. He did 444 supply, minted for 0.045 ETH. So quick, like 20 Ethereum, if my math is correct on that, something like that, right?
Yep.
Close to that.
Yeah, the only reason I know is because I hold the NFT that allowed me to mint it. I think it just sold out. It's just, I think it's going to be an interesting one. The only comparison I had for it was the memes by 6529 at a 0.15 ETH floor. And that is double the supply, right? So there's going to be a snapshot for this taken in the next couple of days. And they're going to receive an additional like black and white version of this. So it's an interesting one. I don't know if I'd recommend people to get in at 0.1, but I was planning on, if it dips below the 0.1 price, I'd be buying more. So,
well, this is a mechanic I want to talk about. And this is fascinating to me that this is working right now. It's such an indicator of the market. I mean, dude, this is an artist. He had one artwork ready to rock lying around. The market starts to cook. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to drop 444 of these things. Buy them, bitch, is basically the tone. And it's like, yeah, I have an 8,000 supply collection, and I got Artist Seasons, and I did a collab with this organization, and I did a collab for that organization. When you see the artists come back and just start milking the udders of the market left and right, that's got to be an indicator of strength in the market. How much do you guys think of that? Do you anticipate that'll, like, how long of a runway will the artists have to basically barbecue their supplies and extract more money on primary sales? No one in this market has done better than the artists that come through and they're like, buy my art. It's just art. You should buy it if you like the art. And it's like, yeah, I just made $16 million and you're never going to hear from me again. The fact that that's already starting again is pretty fascinating.
Yeah, but this has been happening. Like, it's the exact right time for an artist to do something like that. I placed this in context earlier today because you had the Art Blocks mint, which went down to 0.85 and pumped to 2.1. But also in the last few days, you had Slime Sunday selling 852 editions of, I think it's called Triumphs of the Nation State, which is related to The Last Stand in some way. And that one actually did, I've got the numbers here. It was 852. Collectors minted 361 at $40. Public mint 491 minters at $120. So they did $73,000 from an edition as well. And then earlier this week, we had Jake Fried, who's maybe considered, one of the kind of fine digital artists, but dropped North Star, which was 100 editions at 1 ETH each. and they sold out. And so that hasn't particularly pumped on the secondary. It's at 1.1, I think, at the moment. But the point is, like right now, there is liquidity for quality artists to bring to the table that type of edition, which can make them a huge amount of money in one go. And yet seem to keep the collectors happy. And you talked about that behavior before of like, are we going to see any respect for these pieces of art that you just buy 5 minutes before, 6 minutes later?
No.
For the moment, yes. For the moment, yes. But give them 7 days or so, then we'll see. But I mean, I don't think that. But to that previous point, I don't think that behavior goes away. But the smart minter, particularly during mint, is like, look, if this thing is not selling out and you've got those people trying to flip for 0.001, you buy those up, let the supply get cut, and then the price pumps off the back of it. So that's my thought on that.
Absolutely. So look, we're going to talk about predictions for the next Gordon Goner buy. We got to think that there's more Gordon Goner buys. I think, Clemente, are we doing a little interactive contest with the audience on that?
We're doing some fun here, guys. So real quick, since yesterday, Gordon Goner said, I'm buying 4 more grails. He ended up then buying a Spirit Azuki for 89 ETH and then was gifted a Mutant Hound that he was planning on already buying. So someone lost like 4 ETH there, which is tough. But we're going to do a little challenge, guys. We're going to guess the remaining 2 NFT projects that he buys. So you can comment either in the Twitter comments or in the YouTube show. If you guess both of them correctly, you will win a Bodago. We're going to give away a Bodago. So comment. And if 2 people guess the same collection, both people get it right. Whoever guesses it first wins. So real quick, I'll give out my guess. I'm going Ranga and...
Wait, you're giving your guess? Wait, hold on. Don't give your guess yet. Real quick, I want to take a second to thank the partners of today's show, Shrapnel. We were talking about gaming projects, talking about gaming tokens. Shrapnel is, without question, this is not hyperbole, without question, one of the highest anticipated Web3 games. And early access is going to be available next month. Next month's going to come very soon, ladies and gentlemen, and there's going to be several play testing challenges where you can win various prizes. So the best way to guarantee that you get early access is to go to the nifty.com/shrapnel. That's the nifty.com/SHRAPNEL and buy an extraction pack for as low as $20, okay? The nifty.com/shrapnel. Use the discount code NIFTY, NIFTY, for 30% off, available for a few more packs. So that is still available as of now. It's not going to be, okay, we got a lot of people already guessing, but shout out to Shrapnel. SHRAPNEL. Got to spell it out for you guys. So we got predictions for the Gordon Goner buys. He continued his shopping spree yesterday. He's up to 1.6 million in buys. He has 4 more grails to buy, as Clemente said. BCheque, any guess, amigo?
Well, one of the things we were talking about was the idea that they have this other side with loads of partner collections. So we were thinking more in that universe, like you're going to buy up those partners. But I don't think this guy really cares. I think he's genuinely just having such a fun time buying whatever the hell he wants. So I think we disproved that thesis. I saw someone comment quite a cool one that I did like, a bit of a throwback. So I'll go with that one. Invisible Friends. I like those Invisible Friends. I thought they were kind of cool back in the day. People were excited about those, had a nice animated vibe. So maybe that. But I mean, otherwise, he's already bought a hell of a lot. So I really don't know ultimately.
Okay. Legendary. Then we're going to go to Signal.
I want to see something like Milady's and Goblin Town. That would be fun. I don't think that's going to happen, but it would be fun. Maybe we'll see a Captain's, though.
I think he already did Goblin Town.
He did
he?
Yeah, he did. He's already done. Yeah.
Then Milady's, please.
Well, you have Milady's?
No, I'm not a holder, but it would just be entertaining.
I don't think his PR team's letting him buy a Milady.
Didn't he say that there's like a little Gaga voice in his head that normally tells him not to do things, but he's discarded that for this buying spree. He's put it aside. So maybe all PR's off the table.
We'll see. Signal.
It's interesting. I was looking at the list, and maybe I'm overthinking this. Okay, so you got the obvious ones like Azuki, of course, like the Grails. But if you look at the teams behind these projects, I think Gordon personally respects a lot of the founders behind these projects, and that's why he's putting his money into this. So I'm going to go with a founder play, or I'm going to on the art side, I'm going to do Art Blocks, something from Snowthrow, and on the PFP side, I'm going to do Jack Butcher, something from Jack Butcher as a potential guess.
Only 2 more buys, huh? All right, Clemente, what do you got?
I think there's 4 more buys. Isn't there?
Oh, there's
4 more?
4 more?
There were 4, but since then he's bought the Spirit Azuki and he bought the Mutant Hound. So I'm assuming those were 2 of them.
Okay.
So we're guessing the remaining 2. We've gotten like 50 guesses, all with I saw a lot of Ranga actually. Like I said, I did see some captains in there, which is interesting. I was Crypto Dick Butts as well was an interesting one, and Moonbirds was the last like common thread amongst all of them. But I'm sticking with A World of Women and Ranga.
Oh, I was about to say World of Women and drop it like a bomb. You front ran me on it. He's 1,000% going to buy A World of Women. I'm telling you guys, he's going to buy A World of Women. No question, he's going to buy A World of Women. Now this clip is going to get gifted and memed a million times when he doesn't buy A World of Women. Okay, so that was the full list. Thank you, Sean Mullen, for contributing that. Appreciate that. Also, ladies and gentlemen, I got to say the comments are on fire. This is, you know how I can tell that the market is significantly better? I can't have the comments open. During the show for the past months, I would just have the comments open the whole time because it'd be like, yeah, once every 15 seconds, someone was like, hey, yeah, nice take. Thanks for saying that. Right now, I open the comments and people are like, yo, you're a virgin. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Thank you, guys. I'm going to focus on the show. Thank you for declaring everybody on the show as being a virgin. People are like, yeah, you got cancer. I'm like, oh, okay. All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you for weighing in with that. World of Women for sure. I feel like Ranga is an easy call. Okay. I feel like Ranga's an easy call. What else? Squiggle. I think he might do a square.
No, dude, I'm in Art Blocks. I said Art Blocks, which is Snowthrow. Get out of my corner. Go get another one.
We'll see. World of Women is my high conviction guess, but we will have to see. Bunny, what do you got?
Ranga and a Nakamigo.
Get out of here.
Well, I was gonna say World of Women. Clemente front ran me on that one too, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 3 smartest people on the show, me, Bunny, and Clemente, said World of Women. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, ladies and gentlemen. We're probably the 3 dumbest. But anyway.
Real quick, the last thing I'll say is, so the funniest thing was we were going through Nick's old wallet last week. Literally last week. And
he's got all of it.
Half. Yeah, it's all. Nick's bag is just getting pumped. Meebits, crypto, dead fellas. The sub duck's pumped because of something else.
Adam Bomb Squad? Are you kidding me, Nick? Adam Bomb Squad. That's hysterical. That's wicked funny. He's got a premium pass in there. Dude, Nick's funny, man. Nick doesn't like selling NFTs that much. Yeah. The Adidas NFT. I mean, Legendary has the Adidas jumpsuit on. Yo, how do you feel in that thing right now, Legendary?
It's only time to bring it out when I feel a bit more bullish on the market. This is I had it for a Christmas party last year with like that kind of ugly Christmas sweater thing. I don't have an ugly Christmas sweater, so I went with it. But the only other occasion where I see it wearing is once the market gets a bit more in a bullish sentiment.
Yeah, I think that's going to be an interesting.
It doesn't get anywhere.
I hope not. I mean, good God, the thing looks like it looks like you got to go play laser tag with the thing. All right. Anyway, we're moving on. Clemente, you want to talk about crypto price action? That's what you want to talk about with these guys?
Yeah. I mean, the big thing I want to know is what they think of Ethereum's just lag. And I think that's a big correlation to why the NFT market's been running, is because Ethereum is basically holding steady, or it's slowly increasing, versus Solana NFTs have been pretty carnaged over the last few weeks. But I'm curious if BCheque or Legendary have any thoughts on Ethereum's lag and what their exposure is like to other crypto.
I mean, in terms of my exposure to crypto, I've always been a big ETH guy. And
I was going to say, you're both ETH boys over here, so I can't wait to hear this. Let's go.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do have some Bitcoin as well, but and I really like Bitcoin, but I just really, really like ETH. I love that there's so much economic activity on there. And I'm not too concerned about, what one thing outperforming another. I think the big danger for people in general would be to think, okay, well, Solana has really, really outperformed. Right now, let me sell up and pack up all my ETH and now jump over to Solana when ETH has basically underperformed in all this period of time. And that's the exact time you probably want to try to allocate to the thing which is underperformed. But most people will likely keep jumping horses to the fastest horse at the time, not knowing that these things go back and forth over time. So I think that's something to bear in mind. But and to your question of whether NFTs performance when ETH is volatile, yes, I think there will be some volatility when that comes, and they always perform best when the market is stable. So I think it's almost certainly been helpful in that environment.
Well, I mean, you literally said it as succinctly as anybody can, is like bozos will now sell their ETH to chase Solana, even though Solana is going to still just absolutely cook. It's still just going to absolutely cook face melting stuff. But the ETH pump has not come, and it's inevitably going to come. ETH is not just like whack. It's I mean, it's the number 2. Like what are we doing here, right? But real quick, the Joker Open Edition 444 supply has 2x since Clemente brought it up on the show. Number one, I just gotta ask, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, what are you doing? I know that it's you all. I know it's you. And this is the second time this week that you all psychotically, mental illness infused, pumped a random ass NFT up. Cryptodes was the other one earlier this week before the Gordon Goner trade. And now you're pumping this. Renga's at 0.29 ETH. That's the floor on the Renga collection itself. Is that going to rip to 0.6? Like, what is going on with this Joker Open Edition that's literally just designed for Dirty Robot to make 80 grand?
It's the 440, like only 444 NFTs is like the hotspot here because it can just move so fast. You can easily get a supply squeeze. So this thing's sold out. But yeah, people are talking smack about me shilling my bags apparently. So I can't talk about an NFT if he's
not shilling his bags at all. He just brought up that's very interesting conversation fodder because it's ridiculous. Dirty Robot could have made 444 unique artworks, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to tell you, like, we work with incredibly talented artists. I see the possible output that these artists crank. And instead he's like, I'll make one and sell 444 of them. Sign me up. I'm an artist now, ladies and gentlemen. Forever people, I could never do this because then forever people would be like, you're not an artist. You hosted a podcast. It's over. But no one has it better than being an artist. And no one has it better than being an anonymous artist in this space. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the audience like, geez, how can I change my life through this space? Pretend to be an anonymous artist and make one artwork and sell 444 of them. Don't make 444 artworks. It's not worth it. It doesn't make any sense. Make one and sell 444 of them. The fact that is pumping right now is absolutely wild and such an indicator of the space. I'm seeing the comments explode. I just see that the number of comments go up. I'm assuming they're just like, I'm going to kill your family, talking to me. So we'll have to see what they're saying in a second. Clemente, you're going to say something, then I want to throw to Bunny.
Well, you know what else is pumping? ETH is now just ripping. So we have people buying ETH as well, apparently. So
ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I mean, what do you want to talk about? We said it was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to again happen during the show. We got a bunch of degenerates in the audience changing their Solana into Ethereum. Thank you for doing that and pumping the ETH price. I told you it was going to go up. It's not like a random ass piece of crap. It's Ethereum. Bunny, you got your hand raised. What's going on, amigo?
Oh yeah, that was up. I got another guess for I got into a Yuga adjacent project that I think they teased being like a part of the other side. Forgotten Runes Wizard Cult. I could see him buying one of those guys.
Well, thank you, Bunny. Thank you for bringing that back when we hadn't been talking about it for like 5 to 10 minutes. I appreciate it, man.
My hand was up forever. You didn't call on it.
You're supposed to be on video. I got your camera right here. This lens is so shitty. Look at this. We're gonna give this to this lens. Like, I don't know. Anyway, sorry. I'm just messing with you guys. I'm excited to go out to New Jersey.
Bad lens.
Bunny, you don't know the difference between a good lens and a bad lens. Come on, man.
You need a good lens, dude. It's pivotal.
I'm having such a good time doing this show. It's a lot more fun when all prices are going up. And literally an artist made one artwork, sold 444 of them, and is like, yeah, buy it. Give me 80 grand. And people did. And the price is 2x. That's crazy. Clemente, are you going to sell any of this open edition 444 of the same artwork when the artist has 10,000 plus other artworks in the NFT space? Are you going to sell any of these?
So, the crazy thing is, if you owned one of these, basically in order to get in, you need to own the Art of Seasons or an audio gallery, and the floor price was 0.02. I owned one, and I minted 5. I was able to mint 5 of these.
Of this thing?
Yeah. So I sold 3. I sold 3 all around the 0.15. I just sold one at 0.19, and I got 2 more. There's a snapshot coming. I think I might hold one for the snapshot, but I might list another one at like 0.23. But it's dipped a little bit since the people are taking some WETH offers. But yeah,
you're printing. I'm gonna probably buy some Mutant Apes. I have to get my cold wallet out. I gotta get my cold wallet out because Franelations is in my DMs dunking on me. He's just like, he's honestly being rude. My friend Franelations, he's kind of laughing at me. He's like, yeah, you've been talking about this Mutant Ape buy, but you're not doing it. It's the only thing to do. When I sent it to you, it was at 5. Now it's at 6. Ha, 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 you suck. No, I'm just kidding. Franelations is like the most respectful.
How many you said 5 last time.
No, that's 25.
3. Sorry, 3.
I
said
said 3
last time.
That would be 18 Ethereum. We can probably arrange for that. We can definitely do 2. I'll tell you that. We can definitely do 2. On Blur, they're 6?
Yeah, they're 6. Pio, I hate to be that guy, but when you first talked, you literally brought them up a week and a half ago, and you quote unquote said, Nick, am I crazy for wanting to buy Mutants right now? They were at 4.5 ETH.
They were?
So, they were at 4.5 ETH. You like
really low.
I am curious how much of this, and maybe BCheque and Legendary can also weigh in, how much of this Bored Ape and Mutant rally, because they have been rallying recently the last few days, how much of that is due to Gordon Goner's shopping spree and just putting apes on like all over the timeline again? It has been interesting to see everyone tweeting and ape owners being like, oh, I'm proud to be an ape and all that stuff. An additional few million impressions at least. So I'm curious how much of that is due to the Twitter presence.
43%.
Get out of here, buddy.
I mean, one of the things I did notice when, because I've never been in the Bored Ape Yacht Club or in that ecosystem, but when you did really sense that people were genuinely happy that this guy who they really put on a pedestal and really thought was a great founder, who's obviously had health issues, been away for a little bit and has now come back. It really, I got the sense that, yeah, they were genuinely happy, genuinely proud. And I think at least a portion, not the whole portion, maybe not 43% either, but at least a proportion. But the rest of the proportion, I think, is just that everything is ripping, right? Everything is ripping, and Bored Apes are going to be a part of that. One separate point about the NFT market, though, you mentioned Pio mentioned Mutants at 5 some time ago, is that I've been saying for weeks, like there's enough there's enough volatility, or there has been enough 3-4% moves for quite some time for there to be a thread that's going to be written in like a week. Like, this is how I made 100 ETH trading NFTs in this market, because everyone thinks that they're dead. But if you actually look at the numbers specifically in a 0% royalty environment, so with that taking into account, if you can keep making 5-6%, 4-5% in a 0% royalty environment on 5 or 6 ETH, like there will definitely be traders who come out with one of those threads, like, this is how I made 50 ETH, 100 ETH in the last few weeks, whilst everyone thinks that they're dead. So that's been one of my observations. There's definitely enough volatility in this market to have been making money, even prior to this huge pump.
100% agree with that. And then add something like Flooring Labs to it, where you have additional liquidity. You now, I think, Free Lunch Capital posted the CoinGecko chart with the A prices. You had that play on captains, where apparently the goal was to get captains on Flooring Labs, move them to the safe boxes, arbitrage them with the airdrop, get like 2 ETH out of additional value per captain. So there's definitely going to be people making use of the volatility, whether that's on Blur, whether that's on Flooring Labs, and printing money, and having been printing money over the last couple of weeks.
Love to hear it. I'm just moving Ethereum around because I'm going to buy a mutant ape right now, ladies and gentlemen. Just forgive me for a moment. Go ahead, Clemente.
While you're doing that, I couldn't agree more, BCheque and Legendary. The thing that I thought was interesting, well, I've been doing that for the last month and a half, 2 months, is buying some of these NFTs, and nothing big. Like I'll buy in at 0.1, 0.15, and I'll get out at like 0.2, 0.25. Yeah. You couldn't do that a year and a half ago because you'd be worried about, well, there'd be the gas fees that you'd have to worry about. Those will eat into your profits in addition to the royalties. I've been doing that recently as well. Like the thing that I've been doing the last month has been, I put a bid in for something where if I have a price target, let's say Utes, I put in a bid in at Utes at 0.54 last week, and I just let it sit there, and it sat there for a week, and I accumulated 10 blur points, for example. So nothing major, right? But it just sat there. And then a week later, I literally timed the bottom of Utes. It saw a little bit of an uptick, and I made 0.07 ETH or something like that. And I just added it on. And then I actually bought a second one as well.
Clemente, we're going to see one of those threads by you then. It's you. Oh, yeah. You're that person who's going to write the thread in like 7 days or in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Like, this is how I made 20 ETH with like 0.06, 0.07. Like, that stuff adds up. It really, really adds up in this zero royalty environment. And I just don't think, kind of going back to that previous point we were speaking about earlier, people wait way too long for someone to give them the permission or to give them the confirmation that we're back in any particular way, whether it's the housing market, the stock market, the NFT market. Like, if you just look at the numbers, and I love, Pio, you talking about, and I've kind of noticed this as well, like the raw feeling that you're getting from the show. And I think that's just such an awesome data point when you can feel the comments and you can feel the reactions and the numbers kind of creeping up as the show goes on. You've got so much great data there as well. And I think, like, if people had their eyes open right now, they'd feel it more than they do. And they need to, yeah.
I'll give a little bit of context there because, Pio, I've been diving into the data recently. And I even tweeted about this 3 weeks ago. I was like, oh, this is weird. Like, listeners are up 25%. Like, that's not a small amount. And even recently in the last week, our newsletter opens are up and link clicks are going up. So people are not only opening the newsletter at a higher rate, they're also clicking on the stories. They're wanting to learn more. And the YouTube audience, for example, is up about 30 to 40% in the last week. So it is interesting seeing that in addition to the Twitter comments as well, we're seeing an additional uptick there. So it is interesting seeing that action. And lastly, the thing that I've been waiting for has OpenSea volume. I don't care as much about Blur volume as I do OpenSea, because to me, the people that I want coming back, we're not going to see first-time NFT buyers coming in right now. But you might see someone that's like, dude, I'm just going to go back to working my 9 to 5. I lost, 5-6 ETH trading NFTs. It just didn't make sense for me. And now they're getting FOMO and they're wanting to buy back in. They're using OpenSea, and OpenSea's volume is up 2x in the last 2 weeks, which gets me really excited.
Yeah, my firmware on this cold wallet needs to be updated, and it's giving me, it's actually triggering me because last time this happened was during the mint of the Adidas Originals thing. This is obviously a much lower stakes scenario, but if you remember, like, that time, that was like when they paused the mint because the mutant apes weren't able to mint the Adidas thing and blah, blah, blah. I had access to 2 of those things, and I think the mint on the Adidas thing was like 1 Ethereum. It was just like the ultimate cash grab. Like, I mean, literally a corporate company just coming in and being like, yeah, give us thousands of dollars for this digital thing that gets you a jumpsuit and nothing else. So that, good times. But anyway, I got 1, and then the other one was in a cold wallet MetaMask, and I had to update the firmware, and it wasn't updating, and I wasn't able to mint it. So it was essentially a multi-$1,000 loss because of firmware updates on the goddamn hardware wallet. This is not as high stakes at all of a situation. I can just kind of sort this out casually after the show. But yeah, it did bring me back to that moment during the bull run, which, I mean, dude, I got people tagging me on Twitter telling me who should come on the show and stuff like that. This didn't happen 3 months ago, ladies and gentlemen. It just was not happening at all. One thing that's crazy that I feel like no one's talking about is Twitter engagement is going to go through the roof. And now there's actual monetization associated with that. So like you talk about money falling from the sky, dude, if I'm getting like $500 a month for Twitter stuff, I'll run it through my LLC. I mean, we're talking about, you know, some extra coin there. That's a lot of sandwiches every month. You know what I'm talking about? I know over in the UK, BCheque, you guys are eating the duck sandwich over at Borough Market. You know, you're getting the meats from, what's the importer called over there? Brindisa or whatever? Yeah, there we go. You guys got the good imported stuff. Oh yeah, the pasta, they import everybody. They import the Italians and the ingredients for the pasta stuff. All right, look, we're about to wrap up here, ladies and gentlemen. Last thoughts. We got the Ethereum pump we were speculating on during the show. I think the last thing is, when's PEPE going to pump? Is that going to pump during the show too? Because I'm looking, I did have $850 worth of PEPE before, and now I have $1,100 of PEPE. Hey, it's going up.
You know what's bullshit, Pio? And I'm gonna a little bit is I tried to buy some yesterday. I was sitting here and I'm like, I want exposure to PEPE, so I went on Uniswap and I'm checking this out. And I was like, oh, I want to buy $500 worth. It was charging me $25 in gas.
Yeah, welcome to Ethereum, dude. Go to Solana.
Bullshit. I'd way rather buy
indicator. NFTs. Gas fees, another great indicator.
Yeah. Last thing, Pio. The episode that I think was the bottom of NFTs was the day Justin Bieber's song was fractionalized and sold as an NFT. The royalty, like 1% of the royalties.
Yeah, the base NFT.
Right. And they made remember Justin Bieber's song, they did 1% of the royalties. You own one of these, Pio. You bought
that was on base. I already sold it. It went down, obviously.
But anyways, yeah, we were mad at Justin Bieber's team. We're like, how the hell could these guys make $15,000 in this? And we were like getting mad at someone for selling out an NFT collection, and it did like a 2x for like 10 minutes and then went under mint price. Last thing, I know I'm rambling. ETH just broke $2,000 for the first time since July 13th.
Oh, good Lord.
I mean, good God.
Sayonara, motherfucker.
That one's for the bears out there, because there really are bears. I see people respond to Mike Alfred and they're like, Bitcoin have no fundamentals. I'm like, wow, you guys are dumb. I mean, that's just funny. What is that? That's like basically, I don't know. That's a weird one. Hey, Node. I see Node in the crowd. Come on stage, Node. I want to ask you about something. Node, come on stage real quick. I just want to ask Node about Ethereum and art block stuff. Node, come on stage, amigo. Do it. Audio only. You're repping the CryptoPunk. Come on stage. I need you on stage for 2 minutes. I know. Oh, here he is.
We're ready to go. Let's do this.
What's going on, Notarino? How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing well. I just, because I love you so much, I couldn't let you get away with some of your comments on Twitter. So
what comments?
I had to come after you, and I even texted you just during the show.
Did you?
To warn you.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and so if you guys haven't noticed, Pio says,
wait a minute.
I'm not an ETH guy. He's like, I'm not an ETH guy. Okay. He built his entire career in Web3 on ETH. He launched Nifty portals on ETH. He owns ETH, and he says he's not an ETH guy. You know, it was just a little too rich. I couldn't handle it, Pio. I had to say something.
I didn't even see that. I'm seeing it now for the first time. I'm glad that you did it. NFT statistics with a wicked funny comment referencing the MMA videos that I made during the bull run that got 20 million views. Honestly, I still just want to do that. There's a part of me that's like, what if me and Clemente just focused on that? Because we were making like almost $2,000 a month on YouTube off of ad revenue, which is like the cleanest revenue you can get. I was like, what if we only focused on this? We could run this up to like 50 grand a month. There's a part of me that's like, that's better. It's better than people just insulting me on crypto Twitter all day. It's a little bit better because the YouTube comments are at least funny. You know what I mean? Like, look at it. Pull up the comments on that video real quick, Clemente. At least these comments are funny. They're like, Conor McGregor would kick your ass. That's funnier than, haha, I have your physical address. I'm going to kill you, which is what the crypto Twitter comments are like. But here we go. We got Someone said Connor looking at himself in the mirror. Who the fuck is that guy? That's a funny comment right there. That's a funny little comment on YouTube. Anyway, Node, how you feeling about art blocks right now, amigo? In the face of this this Ethereum pump.
As always, it remains my highest conviction bet. They've been, the art blocks do not tend to pump when like PFPs are pumping. There's like some kind of segmentation there. So I'm still holding. At the end of the day, like throughout the bear, I ended up with basically Gen Art as the majority of my portfolio. The only PFPs I have are Punks, and I have a Pudgy Penguin. And I still have a few Bodagos left, shout out to Easy because I still believe in him. But other than that, like I'm mostly in Gen Art. So I think it'll have its day. Like the hard questions are like, which of the old collections are going to pump versus, do we just need to wait for new ones? I like Trichromatic that just came out. However, I gotta give a shout out to my guy Arsenic and Z-Blocks, who came out with Unigrids in 2021. Trichromatic just looks way too similar to Unigrids for me, so I didn't jump in on that bandwagon.
No, nobody knows what Trichromatic and Unigrids and the generative unibrow collection. No, I'm just kidding. But you're getting a little bit deep on the
Oh my gosh, I name one. I name the. You guys are sitting there. I heard Clemente talking about how he's buying things for 0.05 and selling them for 0.1 earlier in the show, like just a few minutes ago. Go take a look at Trichromatic and look at what it's done. It was the biggest drop yesterday, and you guys totally missed it. All the whales have, like D's, everyone's scooped up a ton. It's over doubled in floor price since the mint. It's like, I think it has like a 2 ETH plus floor now.
Got it. So the cabal of NFT people all texted D's and told them that they were going to buy 100 of them. So then he bought them and the price went up 100x. Sounds about right. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes. So the old guard, I think they were out in force with this one, to be honest.
Oh, dude, the old guard, they're like sticking candles up their asses or whatever and just having those weird meetings that they have where they buy a bunch of NFTs and send the price to the moon.
I've never heard that one. I was never invited to participate in such an event, but
yeah, they're like, heating up metal brands and branding themselves and then just making like $1 million a week. I can't wait for the old guard to come back and silently just steal everybody's money with random collections that you're like, that one pumped and that guy made $800,000 off of it in 5 days. It's basically the same thing as the U.S. government front-running proprietary information that comes out of defense companies. Anyway, real quick Node, I just got to throw one thing at you. So, am I allowed to bring up your family member's art collection thing?
Sure. I mean, it's not my family member. If I'm thinking of what you're thinking of, it's not like my family, but we'll call it a distant acquaintance.
Okay. So I think about that all the time. So there was a valuable painting acquired, correct?
Yes, correct. It was 2 Norman Rockwell pieces for like, way back in the day, they bought them for like $200,000 each or something.
Wow. So check it out. That's a big buy. Back in the day, you buy 2 Rockwells for $200K a pop. That's like a big deal. What are they worth now?
Yeah, he sold them like 5 or so years ago, or a little bit longer ago, for like $8 million plus a piece, and bought a home in Newport Beach with them. And then he printed off. And then he bought Prince and put him up in his new house.
Lord!
You said he bought Prince and put him up in the new house, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That's
that actually is what got me, like, after talking to this guy, I was like, that like really and had an impact on me. And when I thought about, okay, investing in art. And so once NFTs came around, that was like a big part of me wanting to jump in, of understanding like, hey, there might be some value here on the art side of things. So yeah, it was pretty wild.
You heard it here first. Node said there might be some value on the art side of things. I want to explain that old money play to you, ladies and gentlemen, because I can detect that a lot of y'all are new money. I'm looking in the audience right now. I see Nifty Nick's new money ass. He's over here like, how do I sell that thing? Blah, blah, blah. Node's family member, his dad, bought the Rockwells for $200K each. Node's rich.
Was not my dad, but yeah, we can pretend. My dad had great taste in art, and it's one investment he hasn't really lost money on. but he never owned those Rockwells.
Yeah, your biological dad, the guy that created you, bought 2 Rockwells for $200K a pop back in the day. He waited a really long time. He didn't even consider flipping them. He sold them for $8 million a pop, and then he just threw prints in the luxury homes that he bought with the profits. If you watch the documentary, The Price of Everything, ladies and gentlemen, there's a collector. His name is, one second, his name, he's since passed away, rest in peace, but his name was Stefan. I can't find his last name. But anyway, he was a billionaire collector, and he bought the skull by Andy Warhol. Clemente, if you could pull up the skull by Andy Warhol, that is a hell of an artwork. Many people, ladies and gentlemen, know Andy Warhol for his work such as the Campbell Soup Can, among other portraits of celebrities of the time, including Jean-Michel Basquiat, his contemporary and sometimes lover in the art space. A lot of details there, a lot of webs. Look at the skull painting right here. He donated this. Talk about old money. Forget about selling it. He donated it to the Art Institute of Chicago, like the Contemporary Art Museum of Chicago, one of the major museums in Chicago. He donated it just to pump the bag of the rest of the stuff that he had and just make himself an icon. And then they gave him a reproduction, and he put the reproduction in his Manhattan penthouse apartment, and he just chuckles and laughs to the camera. He's like, oh, it's just as good as the original. We'll take the reproduction. We like it. That's what rich people do. Y'all new money people wouldn't understand, but I'm just telling you. No, did I basically summarize that right? Would your dad approve of that?
Yeah, there was, I'm sure we got every single fact wrong in the story, but in general, there was a guy who once bought some Norman Rockwells on the cheap and sold them for a lot of money. That's the moral of the story.
Thank you. No, one last question. Is your ringer, is that your Rockwell?
I have been struggling with that one. Here's my problem. I was always all in, I made that horrible mistake of never really cashing out. And so I luckily put my money in some good stuff. And I'm happy to have it, but I'm low on just the old ETH liquidity. And so if I want to really play around and have fun this cycle, I may need to sell one of my higher end assets to do so. And so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my ringer. I've held it for over 2 years. And yeah, I don't know. I may sell it here coming up. I don't know. I don't know what to do. That's
a wild comment right there. No, that's wild. That sounds like disaster fuel, where you're going to sell it to play around and just light all the money on fire. Meanwhile, your dad wouldn't approve of that because that's the next Rockwell.
It's very, I could be, there's a reason why I locked away that ETH in that ledger. You know what I mean? Because I knew I would be tempted to do that. And now I'm already trying to find ways to do it with other means. But I should probably just literally do nothing for the rest of the cycle. For the next year, I should not do anything and then sell it all in 1 year. That's probably what we should all do. But we're not going to, because we can't help it.
Exactly. And a commenter, Blate, right now, very funny commenter, consistently funny, dare that I say, on YouTube. Shout out to Blate, said Node's dad didn't hold the painting for 100 years just for Node to floor his ringer after 2 years. I couldn't agree more, Blate. Thank you for that very insightful comment. We got breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to wrap on this breaking news. Please, Clemente. You're muted, buddy.
Yeah, I know. I need to pull it up again. Hold on. Give me a sec. Breaking news just in. $9 trillion asset manager BlackRock registers an Ethereum trust in Delaware. To be honest with you, I don't know exactly what this means, but
it means that they're going to have an Ethereum ETF, dude. Duh.
Well, there you have it. Duh.
Well, I'm saying duh because
8.5%.
Like, dude, people are just so funny in this. Like, I've seen so many tweets from like the big crypto Twitter accounts. They're like, I've lost $1.1 million holding ETH instead of holding. So it's like, dude, just grow up and act like you've been here before, dude. What a surprise that ETH is pumping. Shocker. Who literally tweeted about it over and over again over the past week? Me. I'm not an ETH guy, but I was tweeting about it.
To be honest, that's where their Bitcoin ETF is registered as well. So it kind of makes sense that A, it would be Delaware, but B, it would be the same place that their Bitcoin ETF is already registered. So like clearly they're making moves, they're registering, but I feel like people are, I don't know. Okay, fine. There's 70 days to go until we get a decision. That decision could also come within the next week. Doesn't have to come within the next 70 days. They're probably feeling positive about it. So an Ethereum registration makes sense. But does that mean that it's going to get passed? I don't know. But there's enough speculation there to make the price pump. So
there's a headline with the information in. Every headline with it in means we go up. Basically, we need to get excited about something, right? That's how people behave. I'm not saying that's right, but when you see ETH, ETF, and in a headline, I don't know if people even finish the headline necessarily. It just means that the price is going to go up, unless it says ETH, ETF suspended, delayed. Then we just go down. But that's how people behave at a minimum.
Well, look, I'm going to shout out BCheque and Legendary's content. Make sure everybody follows them on Twitter and Sapphire. Sorry, guys. Sapphire just was like diving into the merch bag. That is not okay. That is certainly not okay. I think she discovered that it's a comfy pile of shirts that she was like literally sticking her face into the bag. Not okay. That's my dog, ladies and gentlemen. Not a human. Anyway, last but not least, I just wanted to spoiler alert something for everybody. Ethereum is going to make new all-time highs, ladies and gentlemen, eventually. I don't know when it's going to be, but the price of Ethereum is going to be higher than it ever has been before eventually. And people like act surprised, like, oh my God, there's an ETF coming and the price is going up in BlackRock. Ladies and gentlemen, it was always inevitable for Ethereum to make a new all-time high, just like it was always inevitable for Bitcoin to and for Solana to. So you can, if you know any math, just look up what the all-time highs are, look at what the price is now. And if the price goes down by 15% between now and the all-time high, don't panic, get excited, because you're buying the same thing you always wanted for less money, right? Just like if I go and mozzarella cheese is on sale at the local cheese vendor, the cheese mongerer, if you will, I get excited. I'm not like, oh no, I'm panicking that the cheese is a bit cheaper than it normally would be. I want the cheese. I've been wanting the cheese, so I'd rather pay less for the same cheese that I would normally pay more for. I hope I helped you out, ladies and gentlemen. Someone just said, don't drink more coffee. I drank a normal amount of coffee, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm about to have an espresso after this, so people in Williamsburg better watch out. Look, Legendary, BCheque, where can people find you? And thank you so much for coming on the show.
Just on Twitter, as always, at BCheque1 is me, Legendary.
On X, legendary_NFT, and daily on our show on the Modern Market as well.
Modern Market. That's 7 a.m. Eastern. 7 a.m. Eastern. They run it for 1 hour. They're also on YouTube. They just launched a YouTube channel. Was it 2 weeks ago? They're posting
2 weeks ago. We just started.
Freaking crushing it. Yeah, great job, guys. I'm a huge fan of you guys. They also have BCheque has a newsletter as well.
Thanks, man. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, newsletter, YouTube, X, Modern Market, BCheque, Legendary. Let's go. We're back. We're back, guys.
We're back. It's a pit bull run, ladies and gentlemen, for everyone watching on video. Make sure you follow Legendary. Make sure you follow BCheque. Make sure you watch their show, The Modern Market. It's a new show. I talked to Legendary like 5-6 months ago about it. I told him, get on YouTube. Don't just rely on Twitter. Get on YouTube, and I'm pumped to see that they did it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, if you're surprised that ETH is pumping, you got a lot of research to do. You got a lot to learn. Meanwhile, I'm trying to learn what the hell makes these NFTs go up, because it's a pretty wild situation right now. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow. If it's your first time listening, sorry, my dog weighs 70 pounds. It was actually getting pretty heavy. It was like a sandbag carry. We do this show Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, each and every week, where we discuss all things NFTs, crypto, technology, finance, stocks, business, everything in between. Nifty Nick will be back in the next few days. He's been enjoying a flamingo-filled vacation. That's not an exaggeration. He'll be back to basically just tell me I'm wrong about absolutely everything. Easy should be back very soon, too. He's got some very important business to take care of. Node's dad would be proud of him because he's following in his footsteps with his ringers buy and holding it for 100 years and selling it for $8 million. And Buddy's getting a camera soon, ladies and gentlemen. We're very excited about that. And it looks like Kix is going to be on the show tomorrow. Every indicator is pointing towards us being back, but I hope you're prepared. Anyway, thanks for listening.